If you want to man up, there's nothing more masculine than caring for your own child.
100%.
Man up. And that is being a man for me. Her in the kitchen, can't she go do that? Yeah. Well, no, she's actually saving lives.
This is why we only have cartoons on a Monday outside of my flat.
Welcome to Baby on the Brain, Anna, again.
Yeah.
Another time on the podcast. I'm thrilled to have you back. And I feel like we're going to start a coup because we're here today to talk about striking.
Oh my God.
Why? Tell us. What's going on?
27th of August, get it in your diaries. This is going to be the first ever parent strike that the world has ever seen. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of it being mums fighting for equality. Like we don't have enough on our list of things to do, you know, like descale dishwasher, domestic load, kind of pack lunch boxes, like just general party admin for birthdays, allergies, and you can feel it. Oh, and you know what we'll add to that is just fight for equality. Let's do that in our spare time.
It's a very small thing to do.
It's the parent strike. It's on the 27th of August, and it's the first time ever that mums and dads pertinently will be joining forces to fight for equality, which is extended paternity leave, 6 weeks over the two. I mean, because good God, 2 weeks, like when your partner walks out the door and your boobs are leaking and your tears are falling and your baby's crying and you're falling apart and he walks out the door. No.
Yeah.
And flexible working, as you know, I've been campaigning for flexible working for 10 years.
And that's the Flex Appeal.
Flex
Traditionally,
Appeal,
that's the campaign you've got running, but this is something a bit new.
The heart of it, yeah. This is where I realised I can't fight for this on my own, need men by our side together to fight for this. So we're fighting for flexible working by default. So it's not just please sir, can I please pick up my daughter on time from nursery? Can I please leave the office on time? You know, these things that I think we've been made to feel like they're a nice to have or a bit of a bonus ball or an extra or something that your boss, you know, needs to make you feel guilty about. So I want it by default.
Do you know what? It's so interesting that you call it a bonus ball because in my experience talking about flexibility, this year it feels like more generally flexibility is being wound back. From what we had, Miranda and I spoke in a previous episode of this series of Baby on the Brain with Atanuke about how in the last 5 years I really thought that actually flexibility had gotten better for everyone in the workplace. But actually I'm starting to feel a little bit suffocated. And I'm not talking about where we work now. I'm talking about the wider landscape. My friends, my family, I'm hearing return to work 4 days a week. You have to be in the office. We want to see you there with no real good reason.
You're sort of seeing the sort of billionaire, millionaire CEOs, and I'm not making this a gendered thing, but traditionally, if you look at like Lord Sugar, Sir Dyson, Jacob Rees-Mogg, that they are men, pushing everyone back to the office 5 days a week. These are people who have flexibility already, so they have no understanding of what the real world looks like. Nannies, wraparound childcare, helicopters, private chefs. I mean, determining the reality of everyone else.
Do you know what? It's interesting. A friend of mine recently, I was complaining about my husband's lack of flexibility. Not, you know, his work does what they can and not him, but it's very much like, please, my son is sick, let me leave. And he was saying that actually these companies, exactly as you say, that are fronted by men, the reason they want everyone back in the office is because at home they're no one. They are just dad. In the office, they are Billy Big Bollocks. And so they need people to see them at the status that they are, which is why they want people to be back in the office so that they can be like in charge of their kingdom and not demoted.
That is literally, you've got to the absolute heart of this. It is not about productivity. There's zero research saying that if you work, you know, in an office like a battery hen 5 days a week, that you're more productive. It's about ego.
Yeah.
It's about, I think, traditionally men being worshipped at the office altar.
Absolutely.
It is, because how on earth can you dominate from home?
Exactly.
How on earth can you look someone in the eye
true.
and bang your fist on a table?
Yeah.
Think of all the, think of The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Think of that's a model of business, right? And it's banging and
Totally.
it's like eyeballing.
You can't
and
control
it's
people
dominance.
on Teams.
You can't.
So you could literally just mute you.
I'm muting you. Have you ever muted your boss? Are we there yet?
No, never.
I think this is dangerous territory for us to get into, Miranda.
But it's true. It's about ego, and there's been research that's come out recently to back up everything that you were saying.
I would say, yes, I totally agree. And look, I work flexibly and I'm very grateful that I do. And I would not have the career I have today if I was not here and afforded what I have. So I'm very grateful personally. I do think there are times when creativity and collaboration are really important in the office, but that doesn't mean, like you say, 5 days in the office every week with no flexibility.
Well, I think
and that isn't flexibility.
We're seeing it in such a binary way that it's either working from home, release the hound, or it's everybody like a battery chicken stuck in, their coop 5 days a week where people can see them. It's almost like a bums on seats mentality over productivity. Yeah. I think the reality, what you're saying, it sits in the middle.
Yeah.
It is the hybrid model. So we've got to stop seeing it in such a black and white binary way. It's not working from home or working from office. It's working and ebbing and flowing between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I really want to talk about now is capacity. So actually what I think I'm hearing from the Flex Appeal and from the parent strike is that everyone's at capacity. And this is also what I'm hearing from my friends. And my Instagram algorithm is telling me that every woman I know is at capacity. Yesterday, I shared a meme. It is, as we record, the last week of term for me. And I shared a meme, which was women running a hurdle race. And it was, did you see it? Parents getting to the last week of term. Actually, it's just mothers, and it's sports day, and like one falls over a hurdle, and then it's like what we call in Northampton Mufti Day. I don't understand that, but it's non-uniform day. Boom, and then it's like they need £5 because they're going to soak a teacher. Boom, and they've got to take a packed lunch because they've got a trip to wherever. Boom, and you've got 4 cards and 7 gifts and. It's capacity, isn't it? What I'm hearing is there's a capacity issue. How do you guys feel? Are you at max capacity? What does max capacity look like?
Can I just say that up until this week, I would have been like, I'm loving life. This is all very manageable. In 1 week, on Monday, I forgot my glasses at my parents' house. So my mum had to come to this office on Tuesday to deliver them back to me. On Tuesday, I forgot my house keys at home. So I had to cycle to Westminster to get my husband's house keys to let myself back in after nursery. On Wednesday, yesterday, I locked myself out the flat. So I had to get my dad to drive to the gym to drop more keys off. Then when I went to the shop after nursery, forgot my wallet at home. So I had to try and contact Revolut, try and put my Revolut on my... And I literally was like, I have dementia. And my husband was like, you are not okay. And I was like, I'm not okay. But that's because one extra thing's been added this week and like everything has, I'm happy, I'm thriving. But like that extra drop has like completely like broken the bucket.
Yeah.
So actually now I'm having to like go back to basics, being like, do I have my phone, keys, wallet, laptop to go to the office? And you're like, that tells me that actually you think everything is fine until one thing changes. And I can see how, as you get older and you enter the summer holidays, everything that ran relatively smoothly, when you then have like no school, I don't know how people cope.
It's like the straw that breaks the mother's back.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it's going to be, but of your list that you gave, it can be the most banal, ridiculous thing that pushes you over. And I think that's what we don't expect, because we're so highly functioning on so little sleep. Our engines are, absolutely on the brink. This chassis needs an MOT. Just saying. She is done in. And I think you expect it to be the big things, but actually when you stop like functioning, it does become the losing the keys. And then you start to go into a cycle of like, I'm failing, I'm the problem. When actually I think what this conversation is so essential for is to push that away and go, this is a societal issue. This is a structural issue. This is a systemic issue. You're not dropping balls. You have quite simply not been given the right court to play on.
And that brings me to my next question, actually, Anna, which I will ask you, is do you think, and I suspect I know the answer to this, do you think that workplaces and policymakers have caught up with the needs of modern family life?
No, I think we made great inroads. I think we were all so hopeful almost post-pandemic. You know, it was like a bulldozer was taken to the 9 to 5 and we were left there with breeze blocks on the floor, all kind of thinking, can we maybe rebuild this into something that actually works, actually functions for humans? The moment that we looked into CEOs' homes with little crayon drawings in the background, oh my God, there's humans in business.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it?
Yeah.
And I think it's much to what you said earlier about the pushback, the rollback, everyone back to office 5 days a week without the consideration of not everyone can get back. Those with caring responsibilities, those with disabilities, this isn't just a parental issue. So no, I feel like we made one step forward and now we're going 10 steps back, because coming back to what Miranda said, it is about control. Ultimately, if I can't see you, you ain't doing your work. And we all know that that's not true.
So just looking at the parent strike then, which is coming up this summer, what was your experience most recently, and Miranda, I'm interested in yours as well, of the shared ownership of those first couple of weeks and months of becoming a parent? You know, we are all married to or partnered with nice guys who really do try, but were they afforded the same flexibility? Did you guys get the help that you felt you needed? Where were you left? Because I remember when I had my first child, Amber, and Aaron could only be there for 2 weeks, and then we live in the Midlands, and he worked from home quite a lot, but he did go into the office, and I was left with this baby, and I'd had a C-section planned, very much wanted, but I was like, I don't know what I do now because I can't drive. So what do I do if I need to get somewhere? Because we're in a village. So like my lifeline has gone. I make sure my phone is charged. I make sure I've got all these things around me. I've got enough food for the day. I could walk to the local pub if I needed something urgently, but I was kind of just,
stranded.
And that's not on Aaron, but I don't know.
It's so isolating. So this is going to be slightly triggering to anyone who had a baby in the UK. And this is proof that it works elsewhere. Yes, you pay higher taxes in Holland, where I had my first baby, but what you get is 10 days of a maternity nurse, a kraamzorg, who holds you while you hold the baby, who feeds you nutritious food, who gets your partner in line.
And you're in hospital or at home?
You're at home. So she's living with you 10 days postpartum.
And this is just free. Part of the
You're in
service.
hospital for 3 days minimum in Holland.
Wow.
I was wheeled out 24 hours with my second daughter in the UK.
I was begging to get out though.
It was
hot
in there.
Horrible, yeah.
And so I think my problem is that, we talk about things like how was it for you in the UK in a sort of utopian, fantastical way. It's happening in other places, and I've experienced it. And I'm going to say I had no postnatal depression with my first daughter. I was held by a woman who got my partner in line. She's like, you can do that, get on with that, do that, put a wash on. She commandeered, took away the domestic load of me carrying the baby, having the baby, holding the baby, and then administrating my partner, because he's left there going, I haven't got tits, I don't know what to do. Get with the program. So it was 10 days of holding, and every single woman in Holland gets that. Then when you go back to work, no one in Holland goes back full-time if you're a parent, because they recognise that having a baby is a role in itself. So you have a mamadag and a papadag for mums and dads, and you go back absolutely no more than 4 days. Most people go back 3 days, but they recognise it's a parental responsibility, not a maternal responsibility. So I had a great run.
I'm thinking
with my
Amsterdam's
first
a 1
daughter.
hour flight.
Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
moving. This sounds amazing.
It's certainly not perfect. And, it's important to say that they have less maternity leave. But I think, to be frank, when you've got that support, you almost don't need maybe as much, because I think the isolation happens when everything lands on a mother's shoulders in that year of maternity leave. It should be parental leave. In Norway, they force dads to be home with a baby for 26 weeks.
Wow.
The divorce rates have dropped by 36%.
Wow.
I mean, go figure, you know? So just in short, like, my second experience in the UK was far from that. And I had severe postnatal depression. And I don't think I've yet recovered, because I'd experienced some kind of parental, non-maternal utopia. Like, this is how it should be. And then 24 hours after having my second daughter, who is now in the room because I can't find childcare to do this podcast, genuinely, you ask how we are, my daughter's on an iPad over there, the digital nanny. And I'm sweating and stressing and wondering, how do we make this work? But, we are making it work.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there are places that get it and understand you need to hold the woman who is holding the baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Miranda, how was it for you?
Well, look, I'm going to be the positive London story. I gave birth in Homerton.
I had Eve in Homerton.
Oh, there you go. I had an amazing experience. But I would say that's because my mother-in-law is such a... you could not hope for a better family member to have a family with.
Aww.
I don't know, shout out to Tamar. She's your typical Jewish mum. And she came over and stayed with us the month that I was giving birth. She instructed a doula to come and help me in the birthing situation. When I came back from hospital, I was in hospital for 6 hours only. And I gave birth. I had my jalfrezi and I was like, I'm leaving. And because everything was so smooth, I think because there was no panic, because the doula was there the whole time. So we didn't doubt anything. And Lauren knew exactly what his role was, because the doula was telling him exactly as you were saying.
You need someone instructing.
You do, because it's both of your first time, you don't know what you're doing. But when I came back, Tamar had made... the whole fridge was full of food that she had prepared. And just before she left to go home, she filled the fridge again. So when Lauren went back to work after 2 weeks, I didn't think about that. But the 2 weeks I had, because the birth experience was so good, and I was checked on by the community midwives, and the doula I'd met up with her twice, and Tamar had been there, et cetera, et cetera. By the time he went back to work, I didn't feel nervous because I felt recovered.
Yeah.
And also I gave birth in May, and it was a beautiful summer. And I'm the only person that I know that gave birth that year that had a positive experience. I don't know a single person in my antenatal class that felt happy afterwards, unless they already had another child.
Do you know what you have, though, that you're describing, is you have that elusive village. Now, you recreated the Dutch model for yourself.
Yeah.
And that cost money.
Absolutely.
That you had to pay into that, and it took a bit of luck that you've got a great mother-in-law. And how well did you thrive?
Exactly.
So you've literally, you have road tested, blueprinted, road maps, what can happen.
Yeah.
And the reason the Dutch invest in the way that you invested in yourself is because it reduces the cost of antidepressants and anxiety meds long-term.
Yeah.
So you make a massive saving.
Yeah.
If you do what Miranda's done, what I had first time round.
And you can totally see that. I would say that now, though, now I'm back at work and I feel like I'm dropping the balls and I feel like my brain is literally starting to steam. It's because you don't have a doula for real life. And my mother-in-law doesn't live here, and she can't just come and cook all my food. And I feel like now I can see a year and 3 months of the whole thing. I'm like, oh, the immediate the bit after birth was the easy bit. It was the life bit that was the more challenging.
Those NCT classes really take you to the moment you've had the baby, and then it teaches you nothing else.
Yeah. I would also just say that however much I enjoyed immediately after giving birth, I know Lauren really struggled, because he was saying to me recently, he's really stressed, and I think he knows that he's not able to do as much parenting as he wants to do because of the lack of flexibility.
Yeah.
Well, this is exactly what I was about to ask you, actually. One of my questions here is, how can flexibility drive equality at home and in the workplace? Well, you just said Lauren had said if he had more flexibility, he feels like he would be able to do more of the parenting.
Yeah, I mean, he loves his job. So I think he's torn because he's like, why should I not chase my career dreams? And I'm like, that's so good for you. That's very like man-coded. But I think he definitely struggled going back to work knowing that he had this tiny baby and knowing that he couldn't be there enough. And now I said to him yesterday, like, just to paint a picture of my day, I'm working 8 hours. I need to go to the gym at lunchtime because I only get to go to the gym on 2 opportunities a week versus what it was before. But I have also done all the laundry. I hang out with the laundry. I did the Sainsbury's shop. I packed away all the Sainsbury's shop. I made the lunch. I prepared the after nursery dinner. I ran to the nursery. I bathed the baby. I tidied the flat, ready for the football, for our friends coming around. And his only thing was like, why did you invite people around then? To like, because, you know, you wouldn't have to tidy up.
Now he's in a hole somewhere, right?
And I was like, do you know what? All of that stuff, you take for granted that like the fairies come and do like little bits of housework because I work from home and you actively can't work from home and wouldn't want to work from home. So I feel like if it was more instructed and it was more acceptable for men to be like, actually, I'm going to work every Wednesday afternoon from home because that means that I could, I don't know, descale the whatever. It would then realign like who does the majority of the housework.
I think we're still struggling with how I think some men, the majority of men, find flexibility emasculating.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think
Anna, that's it.
As
and
much
that's not on
as,
them, is it? But that's being brought up.
I think it is a bit on them.
You
know,
think?
I actually want to say right now, yeah, I think it is on you.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, you don't just, sorry to be blunt, ejaculate and leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, parenting, pregnancy, it's not 50-50. Like, holding a baby, like, putting your body through that much strain, going through complete physical, mental, emotional changes whilst carrying a job and then carrying the baby, it ain't 50-50. So I truly believe the minute that baby lands, the minute that first cry pierces the hospital air, that is when you take over.
Yeah.
And actually that's where you step up. And if we're talking about manning up, womaning up, like step into the fold, you know.
I think my only challenge to that, and the challenge that we experienced, was that I don't know if society sets men up to do that successfully.
That's where we have to fight.
Exactly.
Right?
Because even with shared parental leave, Aaron and I were both employed at the time that Amber was born. We couldn't do that because he earned more than I did, and it did not make logical sense
definitely
for us
on
to
a
do that.
governmental level. But I think then there's a demographic of men who are not pushing or asking in the way that I think they should be. And then I think you've got it's three-tiered, this issue. It is, I think, men not leaning in, like in Sheryl Sandberg's words, leaning in. I'm like, I want to lean out. I'm ready to lean out.
I'm ready to lean down.
I'm like, okay, if you want to man up, there's nothing more masculine than caring for your own child.
100%.
Man up. And that is being a man for me.
Yep.
And then the secondary bit is bosses who are not accepting flexible working requests from men. So that's the secondary issue. Only 1 in 10 flexible working requests goes through for men. 4 in 10 go through for women. So we've already then got there's an imbalance. And then you've got the governmental level, which is where like shared parental leave, statutory paternity pay, it pays essentially not enough to get a bag of pick and mix. Do you know what I mean? So of course, families in a cost of living crisis can't afford even to take those 2 weeks sometimes. But I think the only thing I'm going to end on is that there was a dad who he messaged me the other day, he asked his boss if he could leave on time on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And this was in a Magic Circle law firm. You know, we're talking white collar, you know, he's in a high position there. And his boss essentially said, the subtext was, well, can't your missus do that? Now that is where the issue sits. And he said, well, my missus is a brain surgeon. So
gosh.
you do not need to be at the helm of the medical profession to be afforded flexible working.
Yeah.
And it's not even unconscious bias. The conscious bias right now is real.
Yeah.
And I think so it's two-pronged. It's essentially making, oh, it's really hard for me to get that flexible working, but really I think they prefer to be in the office.
Yeah.
And it's bosses going, well, can't her indoors do that, mate? Which is actually not that far off what Andrew Tate's saying.
Yeah.
Like, if we're really going to be blunt about it, you know, her in the kitchen, can't she go do that? Well, no, she's actually saving lives. So let's get with the programme.
One final soundbite for us.
Yeah.
What is happening in August and why are we joining?
Okay, so this is the team.
This is the crew. Yeah.
This is the team. It was 1975 when the Icelandic women's strike happened, where women downed tools and the economy halted. Okay, now we're carrying that baton on for the world's first parent strike, because it's not for women, for mums to fix.
Yep.
This is for parents to unite. It shouldn't just be maternity leave, it should be parental leave. It shouldn't just be flexible working for mothers, it should be flexible working for parents.
Yeah.
And so this is the first ever strike starting at Trafalgar Square, going to Downing Street on the 27th of August, where mums and dads, we've already had thousands of sign-ups, are going to be there with their children, showing them why it's important, mummy and daddy, mum and dad, mum and mum, dad and dad are there parenting together. Because like I said, he doesn't just get to ejaculate and leave. So yeah, join us. I need you. I'm exhausted. I'm knackered. We're going to be working with the Dad Shift, who is a male campaigning group, to do this.
Okay, we're going to play a quick game of this or that. Now, last time we did this, Miranda, you said Bluey was a boy. So I am not filled with so much hope. You're gonna, I know. I said Bluey or Bingo, and Miranda went, I like him. And I, what?
I've only watched it once.
Well, therefore, that is your
You are
homework
lucky.
for the day. Exactly. Okay, a quick trip to soft play in a heat wave or a packed splash pool at your local park.
Our splash pool hasn't turned the splash water on. So
a dry and desolate splash pool.
I mean, we go to the very overcrowded Lido, and I don't care how many kids are in it, I'm in it. So I take water any day.
Which one are you picking, Anna?
I don't want to go to either, if
Fine,
that's okay.
neither. You're absolutely
I'm just going to stay at home.
Yes, fine. Absolutely. Open all the windows and put the TV on. Okay, a huge bag full of all the kit you need, or fly by the seat of your pants. And I'm asking you this because I was talking to Alex Walker about this the other day. I am one of these and she is the other.
You're definitely taking a huge suitcase.
I've got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fly by the seat of my pants.
No,
I go out with a bag, a bottle, and lots of hope. And the bottle might be milk, might not.
A chicken wine.
Yeah, a chicken wine.
That's quite literally what Alex does. I was like, what do your kids play with at the restaurant? She was like, the sugar.
Yeah.
I was like,
100%.
Mine have got everything they could possibly ever need, and my back hurts
Bliss.
from carrying it all.
Don't underestimate the power of the non-toy toys.
Oh, yeah, fine. Yeah,
Plug,
yeah.
a wire.
The knife.
Yeah, a knife.
The fork.
Honestly, when I've got 5
Shoelace.
kids, so, you know, by this point, they're just playing with the cutlery drawer.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, mum friends or friends who are mums?
Oh, God. Like, just women.
I've got both. I have definitely got both in my accoutrement.
I only know one person that's got a kid outside of work.
Right, that was a good caveat, wasn't it?
Outside of work. My friend's here.
My finger then to absolutely kick off. Okay, the Wiggles or Mr. Tumble? You don't know who those things are.
Mr. Tumble. I do know who Mr. Tumble is.
Mr. Tumble.
And that's Aubrey's favourite TV thing.
I'm really sorry.
He doesn't come into our house, only my parents' house.
Fine. Okay, fine. I'm definitely Wiggles.
Big Wiggles fan.
Yes, I'm the Wiggles.
Big time. I watch the Wiggles. I like the Wiggles. And then I would say this morning coming in, the Paw Patrol theme tune was ingrained.
Tuning.
We're talking Baby on the Brain.
Yeah.
I feel like the tunes of their cartoons are just repeating like some kind of torture chamber in your mind.
This is why
daily.
we only have cartoons on a Monday outside of my flat.
It's when your Spotify pops up and suddenly like London's Burning comes on.
That would never happen.
No. Like, Amber, what's going on? A truly flexible job or a truly flexible childcare system?
Both. They don't work without the other almost. They're not exclusive. I know I'm not answering you or this or that, but I'm not settling for one or the other.
Good.
That's
great.
That's
the
my
coup's real.
answer.
It's happening now.
The coup's happening.
More time or more energy?
Oh, God, more energy. Yeah.
I think I would take time because I feel it slipping through my fingers to quote
Yeah.
ABBA. Have I just quoted ABBA?
No, I just want to.
I don't know what you're going.
I want to go hard and then go home. I'm very much
Right,
like I
fine.
want to burn out by the time I get my bus pass. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to go,
Yeah,
and then
great.
and then I'm out.
Yeah,
In and
Oh
out.
my God,
Yeah.
that is such a stressful analogy. Jesus
It is, isn't it?
Christ.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's the opposite of what I want.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
like,
want
give
to
me all the
quietly-
time. Next time, another 100 years.
Let's just do this.
Yeah, okay,
Move on.
fine.
Rip the plaster
We're
off.
opposite
Out.
ends of the scale, but that is also totally fine. Okay, this is quite a reflective one, but your pre-parent self for a day or your future self with your grown-up kids for a day. Which would you like to do if I could grant you one tomorrow?
I would go pre-parent self only because
You odd, and then went for the one where Aubrey isn't here.
I know, because I keep thinking, I really wish I had known what it is to have all the time in the world just to do you.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, I want to say that to all my friends without children, like, you can literally do anything after work. Anything!
Yeah.
And you can't do that with a kid with the nursery finishes at 5:30.
Yeah.
I never appreciated my hangovers pre-kids. I just, like just luxuriating in your bed and all you've got to do is go and get Ben and Jerry's from the corner shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't I appreciate that hangover? I was there
Yeah.
going, oh, this is the hardest day. It's really hard for me. This
Throw
is
up in
tough.
peace.
I'm
no
like,
one's around going, are you all right,
try a hangover in a soft play in a heat wave.
I don't know how people be hangovers as parents.
No, I've had very few. I had an accidental one after the trek. Did I tell you about this?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my God, it was Father's Day the next day as well. And I had to go back to the pub, to the scene of the crime, where I'd booked lunch for us all the next day. I was like, I literally don't want to go.
Just can't do hangovers and children.
Okay, I know what your answer is going to be to this one already, and it's the last one, but we'll go for it anyway. Society valuing care work properly, or workplaces genuinely adapting to parents? Got to be both, right?
I mean, there's no either or on that. I think
there's absolutely not.
let's just be honest. We need to rip up the rule book as it is right now, rebuild it one brick at a time. And I feel like this is the trio to start that work. So
The crew is here.
if you haven't got enough on your list,
Yeah.
if your to-do list could just add another addendum,
Yeah.
which is just fix society for mothers.
We'll help you.
Would
We'll
that be
help
okay?
you. Yeah, you lead, we'll follow. That's
Okay,
what
great.
we're going to do, okay?
We're saying it with like a stress-induced item. It's like 100%.
It's just, it's just watering.
We're going into
Yeah,
battle.
It's all good.
We are. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.